Caity, thanks for coming in. Can we start with the glaring question, which is what did you do to your leg?
I was on my brother's stag do.
Right.
In Budapest, and we went go-karting. We were there for about 4 hours, and I crashed into a wall, and now I have a robot leg.
Okay, is it going to be all right?
It's going to be all right. And also, my sister-in-law has a PhD in knees, so like I've got the best injury I could possibly have because she's just finished her PhD and needs a client. And I was like, babe,
that's the most specific PhD I've ever heard.
I know, Dr. Knee.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad it's going to be fine. But I know your fans have been kind of desperate to find out what happened, and you kind of turned it into like a music video.
Yeah,
skit.
Because the world's not going to wait while my ACL or whatever heals, so I had to just use it and run with it.
It was a very good stunt.
Run with it. Thank you. People were like, "Oh, is this a PR stunt?" I was like, "Yeah." Just got a full leg cast because I thought it would be funny. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? But anyway, we're here because you're releasing.
Yes.
Which is very exciting, and I've heard it, and it is fantastic.
Thanks.
And so should we just start with, can you tell me a bit about when you started writing it and kind of like the recording process and everything?
Yeah, so I started writing it 2024, like in May to June, July-ish time, maybe even September time. I had like 3 one-week sessions over the course of 3 months. And basically before I went in, I was like, I don't want to make songs about hating the world anymore because I actually don't really hate the world anymore. I'm okay.
Well, that's lovely.
I know, but like everyone expects me to be like, can I swear?
Yeah.
Fuck men, and I hate everybody, and I'm going to snark your brother, and that's what everybody expects of me. And you know what? That is who I was and who I am in some respects, like a confident...
But you're also not someone to kind of just like go with everyone's expectations.
No, I was like, I was like, I don't want to make songs like that anymore because... I don't want to do that. So I was like, I need to make songs.
You're not in that place.
I'm not in that place anymore. And I wanted to make songs about stuff that really like meant something to me. Because my view is like, I will always get over what I was singing about before. And I did get over it. Now that I'm over it, I'm like, well, what should I talk about now?
Yeah.
The stuff that I will never get over. So that's what I did. Made a little mind map the night before I went into the studio. And then I sat down with O Wonder the next day and was like, hi, this is what I met them once before. And then I sat down with them and told them all of my like life history for about 2 hours. They were like crying and I was crying and we were laughing. And then they were like, okay.
And then it was done in like an insanely short amount of time.
Yeah, it was like 12 days or something fucked up. It was crazy.
That's mad.
I know, but I've not had that since I first started doing music. Like I remember my first ever sessions were with these guys called Future Cut. And I went in and I made like 15 songs in like 2 weeks. And I've not had something like that ever since then. So when it was happening, I was like, oh my God.
Just cling on to it and like go with it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And don't force anything, just run with it. My label were like, oh, I'm going to fly in some writers from LA. I was like, leave me alone.
Keep them away.
Yeah, keep them away. Yeah, I'm on a roll.
Yeah. And then the sound is, I feel like just brilliant. I think you like open on the very like sort of big band. I mean, I know you're really inspired by like the 50s and 60s kind of like R&B and like soul and everything like that. So that was obviously quite important for you to bring in and incorporate into this record.
Yeah, because I feel like I've always said like my favourite era and vibe is like the 50s and 60s, like beautiful, glorious melodies and harmonies and strings and horns, and I've never really shown that in my music. So I'm excited, well, I was excited to really like lean into that for the first time because I've never done that before. And we had like all live strings, all live horns, everything was live, like not through like a little beep, ba-doop, ba-doop, you know? So it was very
cool. Bedroom music.
No bedroom music. Yeah, it was really cool.
And that's going to be exciting to tour as well, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the liveness.
We're already talking about some festivals you can do next year.
Yes.
So
yes.
Imagine it. And the songwriting as well, I think like, you've always been so candid, I think, in your songwriting, but this feels like, another league almost. I think not just like the kind of subject matter that you're going into, but also the nuance in it and like the maturity with which you're sort of approaching a lot of the songs. So yeah, can you tell me a bit about like kind of how, was there like a through line you felt like you wanted to go into?
I feel like when we were writing the songs, I've never really had anybody, how do I say this without sounding like an absolute loser? I've never had anybody that's written a song with me where I've thought, wow, that's better than what I would say.
But I mean, it's your
which is crazy
because it's your perspective.
I've worked with so many talented people. That's not what I'm saying.
Sure.
But I mean, like when
no
I write
one
a song,
knows you better than you do.
Yeah, I'm like, shut up. Like I would not say that.
Yeah.
And then this is the first time where, because I wrote it with O Wonder, and I've been a massive fan of O Wonder since I was a kid. So anything they said, I was like, oh my God, yes, amazing idea, love, love, love. But when we were writing the music, I would normally swear a lot. like every other line, fuck you and fuck this and shit and blah, 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 because that's how I thought I would express emotion. And I remember I was writing a song and then Ant was like, don't swear, it makes it look like you don't know what you're saying. I was like, oh my God, you're so right. And then he was like, every single word you write, every single line has to make sense and it has to be there for a reason. Don't just say like because or if or but if it doesn't mean anything. And I was like, okay. So every single line is like carefully thought out.
So that kind of unlocked something in you maybe like with the songwriting aspect.
Yeah, I'd never done that before. I was just like, I can go into the studio and make a song in an hour and be like, that's it, bye-bye.
Yeah.
But this time I was like, what should we say? And la 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 la. It was really cool. And I wanted to lean into it a lot more and be a little bit more poetic with what I was saying rather than just, you know, I mean, I do say things very honestly, like I always do, but I think I word it in a much prettier way now.
Yeah, and I think some of them are very reflective and some of them are very much like in the moment.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
you're talking about love a lot on this record in a much more positive way.
I know, which is crazy.
But it's lovely to hear, and I think,
Thanks.
you know, again, that kind of suits perfectly like the 50s and 60s sound, because I think no one really did romance like they did back then.
Oh my God, and they
in
never
song.
will. I'm like,
No.
this is why I'm
Well,
hooked on it.
you're kind of
well,
doing
they will
it.
actually, and I have. So
Yeah. So should we talk about a couple of those songs?
The love songs.
As I Am is one of my favourites.
Thanks.
I think especially because I think you've spoken in previous interviews and like on stage and stuff, you've joked about maybe people underestimate your singing abilities, and your vocal performance on that song feels very much like a big fuck you to anyone that's ever said that you can't sing.
Yeah, I think when we were making that was like in the second week, I think, when we just made like 4 songs in a day. And I'm like, right, another one. And I'm like, oh, Caity, shut up.
We want to go home.
Just chill, yeah. And I was like, no, I want to make a song about, you know, because I read this thing where it was like, your first love is the one that like you get really, the first, what was it? Your first love is the one where you're just like figuring it out. And then the second love, you get really, really hurt. And then the third love is the one that's like it. And the one that I'm in now is my third love. So I was like, we have to write about it. And this is where As I Am came from. And when we were making it, I was singing it like in my head voice. I was like, yeah, no, no. It was so easy to do. And then we're like, yeah, let's go record it now. I was like, I can't sing that. I can't. I physically, I can't. And they were like, shut up. Imagine he's in front of you and like the lights are nice and like he looks gorgeous and just sing. I was like, okay. And then I did it.
And you're hitting all these
It was crazy.
mad belts and like the huge notes
and
and just
so good. And like I even recorded like the whole like vocal session.
Yeah.
And I do it and then you could see Josie and Anthony like, oh
and
was
that again like a moment for you where you sort of like maybe you've been underestimating yourself for a bit?
Yeah.
And then that was like a kind of
But I think it's
point.
because, you know, people have been underestimating me and I think it's so easy to just listen to everybody and be like, yeah, you're right. I'll just make songs that you want to hear and I won't sing. And
Do you know what? It's funny you say that because I literally just went to this talk with Jo Nama Trading, fan. Yeah, she's incredible. But she literally said this thing where she was like, the interviewer said, you know, have you listened to criticism? Like, does that ever affect you? And she just went, no. And the whole time through her whole career, she said, you just have to believe that you're good. And that's why you're doing what you're doing.
See, I went through a whole phase of thinking I was really not good. I did not go into the studio for like a month because I was like, I'm awful, I can't write anything. And then I went to the studio for the window and then this happened.
And now you do when you're making your best music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm singing and it's so good. Yay.
Yeah, and then, so As I Am, beautiful songwriting. And, you know, I think that very much taps into, though, like a kind of thing that you've been talking about for a while, which is the concept of, like, too much. And,
Which, again, is what everybody thinks of me, like, well, not everybody, I'm being quite mean to myself. People do like me, I think. But
well, I've been to your shows. Yeah,
but a lot of people have this, like, assumption of me, and it's definitely been a problem. When I say like with relationships, I literally had one that's been like significant, but with that relationship, it was so, like I proper muted myself to be loved by him, do you know what I mean? And that's what I thought I would do forever, because that's what I thought the best I would get was, and then I fell in love with somebody, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not changing anything about myself. And
because that's why he fell in love with you.
Exactly.
Because you're brilliant and loud and colourful and, you know,
because that's
extra.
As I Am.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly.
Yay.
And then some other songs on the similar theme, including, what do we have? There's
Love of My Life.
Love of My Life.
Yes.
Which is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. I said I want to make, I had like 9 topics I wanted to speak about, and one of them was like obviously love. And I was like, I have to make the most beautifulest, simplest love song ever. Because I feel like in my previous stuff, I love to overcomplicate things and be so specific with like the date and the time and what I was wearing and what he was wearing and what the sky looked like. But if you listen to all of like the old 50s and 60s music, it is so simple. Even like the Beatles, like simple. Here comes the sun.
When I'm 64.
Right, here comes
Yeah.
the sun, and I say it's all right. What? Perfect. Do you know what I mean? And I thought this is the time where I really just want to strip everything back and just use beautiful, lovely words that make a lovely little.
Yeah, and you're just
love
capturing
cake.
like the emotion.
Yeah.
And the instrumentation as well. Like I think there's a real beautiful balance between, you know, what you're singing and like this kind of all these like swooning strings.
Yeah.
And, you know,
It
and
just
there's-
sounds like what falling in love sounds like. That's what I wanted it to
Yeah.
be like. Beautiful strings and wow.
very romantic. And then there are other songs on the record that I think kind of go back to, you know, darker moments through your life. So there's the, you know, there's very affecting two songs that are kind of like, you describe them as sort of like almost siblings in a way, like or
Yeah.
chapters into. So do you want to tell me a little bit about those ones?
What, The Weight of You?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you died, that one.
Yeah. That, I mean,
Okay.
talking about like kind of on the nose lyrics, that's one of the few
Yeah.
on that record. And but
I
it
know.
like it packs a punch for that
When
reason.
I first said that, when I first played it to people, they were like, oh. I was like, no, I mean that. So yeah, something really awful happened to me when I was younger. Awful things. And it sort of messed up my whole view on like love and relationships. And I don't think I ever realized that it did until I was a lot older and like things would happen and I'd be like, oh my God, this is not okay.
Yeah.
But I guess for years and years, I've never known how to word it, or like I've never known, like, I don't know, I haven't really spoken about it with anybody ever since it happened. Like I was just told, like, don't talk about it, like it didn't happen, everything's fine, everything's perfect. So when I went in to write the album, I was like, this is something that I've never really spoken about. And obviously, like, because I'm in love now, I can look at things with a clear head, because I didn't want to make a song that was like,
When you're in like a darker place or...
No, I wanted it to be like when I'm completely like at peace with everything, I have no resentment towards anybody. And I wanted to make a song that sort of sounded like that. Like I wanted to make a song that wasn't like, oh, you know, look at me, something really bad happened to me. And because that's not how I deal with things. Like I don't want that. I wanted to make a song that was like empowering and made me have ownership of the situation. Like, I'm glad that you died. Like, what the fuck? I am, weirdo. Sorry.
No, it's fine, but I think like there's definitely a sort of, there's a calmness in the way that even that line, when you deliver it, I think there's a sort of frankness of like, this happened to me and it's very accepting.
Yeah.
And it's not forgiving the person that did that to you.
No.
But it's kind of addressing like how you felt at the time and how you feel now about it.
Yeah, it's sort of saying like, you don't control me and you don't like have ownership of me and my brain and the way that I feel. And the fact that I've like made a song, and for example, that song, when we were making it, like all the verses came out like instantly. Because I was just like, this is what I want to say. And
Did
the
you ever-
piano, like, doo-doo, doo-doo, oh my God, scream and cry. Like, that's exactly how I feel.
Had you ever written about anything like before, like, you know, even just private kind of notes or anything? Or was this like literally the first
Yeah, I
time?
did. I remember when I was in school, because like it would be something that would just creep up on me, like it obviously would. Like, and I'd be out somewhere and be
It's
like,
trauma,
oh.
isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, and I think because my vibe is like, I'm so happy all the time, and I am like a lot of the time, but there's a lot of things that have happened to me that I've like pushed down. And then occasionally I'll get drunk or like I'll be out somewhere and be like, oh God, so
And
many
you
bad
sort of, there's
things.
another song I think where you sort of talk about the, is it literally two sides?
Yeah.
And you sort of speak about the public, because obviously being in the public eye.
Yeah,
There
running
is
from
this-
myself, that one.
Yes.
Yeah, like that would be, because I mean I am. I never want people to think that I'm putting on an act or like, you know, when they come and see me dancing and prancing around, that that's not who I am, because I'm 100% that person. But also, like any other normal human being, I have days where I think, fuck that, like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Go out and I'm a problem, and I'm in the fucking like dressing room crying. Do you know what I mean? God, it sounds very like boohoo, but you know, sometimes it's difficult.
But I think that's what you own in the song, is that like it's fine to...
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine to do that.
Yeah. And then the accompanying sort of, I say accompanying, but you know, like very different scenario, but also, I imagine, well, been there basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, that I love to kind of how you address that as well. I think that is maybe more of like the you as an adult.
What, the drank me dry?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess like it's sort of, I call it the sequel. Is that the one that comes after or the prequel?
Yeah, yeah.
So Weight of You happened, and then that led for other things to happen in my life that I thought were completely acceptable because of what my perception of relationships and whatever was. And And I remember like something really weird happened there was 2 different occasions, sorry, not swearing at you. There were 2 different occasions.
No, it's just the nails. I mean, I would be doing the same thing.
Thank you.
My nails like that. So yeah.
There were 2 different occasions where like I was with like 2 of my guy best mates on separate times, and they just like completely just did the worst thing that they could ever do.
Yeah.
And I remember like at the time thinking like, oh, that didn't happen. Like he loves me, he's my best friend. Like I'm overthinking it, it's fine. And I remember it was in lockdown, and I was at the river with my friend, where we'd always go when I'd feel sad. And I was talking to her about it, and she was like, Caity, that is so not normal. Like, your mate wouldn't do that to you. I was like, oh, no, but it's fine, right? And I remember I messaged him, and I said, hello, this is, because I was still his mate. I was still talking to him, because I thought, like, you'd never do that to me.
And it's a very difficult thing to confront someone about as
well. Oh, my God,
I
especially when, like, I actually really loved this person as a mate. And then I messaged, I know, it's so annoying, like, why I do that. But I messaged him, like, hello, this is what happened, and this is how I feel. And I, like, recited the whole thing. And he went, oh, I don't remember it happening like that. We'll have to agree to disagree. And I thought, okay.
Yeah.
But the whole song is, like, I don't want to say tongue-in-cheek because it's about a very serious topic, but, like, it says, like, it's sad you could have had it all. Because he could have had everything. Like, if he was
your
nice
friendship.
to me. Yeah, even, like, I fancied him. Like, I was like, you could have had me.
Yeah.
But
there's the thing of, like, feeling safe and secure and thinking you can trust someone, and then that feeling of being let down.
Being let down. And I think, like, a lot of my fans, you know, I mean, I wish I had somebody when I was younger to sort of hold my hand in that way and tell me, like, what was right and wrong. Because I obviously knew what was right and wrong.
Well, I wish I'd had this song,
right?
when I was in my 20s.
Yeah, period. I think it's a really good thing to talk about with, especially young women, because I let a lot of things slide that, and I can imagine you probably did too, that was not
Yeah, because I think, you know, we're taught to be sort of, you know, placid or just, you know,
or like what were you wearing,
you
and
know,
like were you drunk, and like what
and
was
not causing a fuss, and like not making drama. And, and that was basically this girl's reaction, right? It was like, you know, oh, why are you making a big deal?
Oh my God.
Like, it's fine.
Oh my, yeah.
It's classic, and it's, you know, it's like being avoidant and kind of like, you know, voicing the responsibility on you, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So weird. So fucking weird. Pathetic. Ugh, and look at me, God. Rude.
Yeah, well, the song's amazing.
Thank you.
And then I guess, what are your other favourites on the record at the moment? I'm sure it changes like day to day.
At the moment, it changes every single day. I feel like right now I love As I Am, just because
This is my favourite.
I imagine myself performing it, and I do this a lot, okay? I like to envision things. But I imagine, like, my boyfriend, his family, his friends, my family and friends, and like a big crowd. And I just envision that people are like, oh, I've never seen like his family, I've never seen Caity sing before, I don't know what it's going to be like, whatever. And then I imagine I come out, spotlight on me, beautiful dress, and I sing, everyone's like, wow, scream, I can't.
Standing ovation.
Standing ovation. Like,
Oscars,
you know
Grammys.
that scene in The Greatest Showman?
I haven't watched it. Sorry.
What?
Not the biggest Hugh Jackman fan. Or musicals. I'm sorry.
Hugh Jackman and musical, that is like the perfect.
It's my nightmare.
Oh my God. Anyway, there is
tell me.
a scene, you know the song Never Be Enough?
Yes.
That one. So there's a scene where this woman comes out and she sings that song, and everybody in there, I remember
It's like her moment.
I remember watching this in mine, I was like crying because everyone was looking at her like, wow, she can really sing. So that's what I want to happen.
That defying of expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
I'll see you at the Grammys next year.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. And there's also a thing that you said in a previous interview a while ago, I think, which was about the Britishness, which I feel like you wanted to keep in your music, or like the sound that you love. I grew up on, I really feel like that's a thing. And also, like, I just think a lot of women in British pop right now are killing, like Rachel Chinouri, Ray, Jade, you know, like these incredible artists that aren't trying to sort of like Americanize their sound in the hope of like a crossover.
Yeah, trying to be universal, you know.
I hate that.
I hate that. Just stick to what you know and just...
Well, also then you just kind of avoid the thing of sounding like everyone else. Like you sound so you on the sound, which is what you want, right?
Cute,
so,
yeah. Imagine
yeah.
you don't sound anything like yourself.
There's just, like even like, you know, like the glottal stops and everything, and just the enunciation of certain things I love.
Thanks.
And it's so characterful.
Yeah.
And I think, again, like, you know, you don't want to sound like a sort of identikit.
Or like a robot, like an AI song.
Well, yeah, we were talking about the bedroom pop thing earlier, and it's like, you know, I love now that there's a bit of a thing, I think, with going back to like the full instrumentation and like actual skilled musicians, and
Yeah.
like you're hearing like solos and stuff. And,
It just makes it
Yeah.
so much more enjoyable. Like going into a studio sometimes and sitting there and being like, let's make a hit.
Right.
No, like let me just decompress and let's make something beautiful.
I don't know, like every time I hear about, you know, the behind the scenes of like a single being released or something, more often than not, the label is like, are you sure you want that to be the single? Again, sorry, going back to Joe Nama Trading, she did that with, what's the biggest song? You're gonna need to delete this bit because this is gonna embarrass me. Okay, her biggest song, which has just gone completely out of my head because of course that happens. Her label were kind of like, all right, well, you know, this is on you if we release it. And, you know, a bunch of other artists just have spoken to me like more recently. Just like the kind of doubt, I guess, or like the surprise, and it's never what you think it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
why then would you go in with the sort of like purpose of like, let's make a hit?
Yeah,
you
and
know?
also like putting that on, like putting that pressure on yourself as well is like really intense.
Also, wouldn't it just kind of like make you scramble to listen to like what's in the charts right now, and then you sort of
and
just
then
making
you feel
like
just
imitations
like a robot,
of,
just like shitting out stupid songs.
Yeah, and again, this feels so authentic and so, you know, like unique.
Thanks.
I think, and not like what everyone else is doing, which is brilliant.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's nice.
You excited for it to come out?
I am so excited. I can't wait. And I can't wait to like, because I've not done anything for ages. I don't know when this is coming out, but right now I've not done anything for ages. I've not gone on tour. I've not done any festivals. I've not released any music. So I feel like
Just ready to...
Like you know, people have forgotten, but I'm ready.
I don't know if anyone's forgotten, but
I'm
I mean,
ready
like,
to be like, hello, I'm back and I can sing.
When do you get the brace off?
Well, I can come off whenever I please.
Okay.
Because it's like a
support thing.
detachable thing. Yeah, but I'm
But like officially, like when are you allowed to like run
3
around?
weeks maybe.
Okay, so just in time for summer festival season tour.
Yes, I've got a weird attachment to it now. I really like it.
I mean, I said like it looks great. I had one like the boot before, and again, it's not good.
It's not. I
yeah,
really love her.
You
She's
lucked
great.
out with that.
I love wearing like a boy short and then have the robo leg out. And everyone goes, "What happened to your leg?" I go, "Oh, me."
It was a really dramatic,
dramatic
incident. Yeah, amazing. Well, congratulations. That's fantastic, and I'm very excited for everyone else to hear it.
Me too. Slay.
Yay. Okay. Thanks.